You knew at 6 o'clock, a system of fear and retaliation. That's how some Charlotte firefighters describe their workplace and the department's leaders.
Half a dozen lawsuits filed by firefighters against the fire department tell a story of discrimination and retribution. The CFD union president tells WBTV's investigative reporter David Hodges one ongoing case raises questions about how city leaders are handling the situation.
And I was just trembling, physically trembling and shaking.
Sylvia Smith-Pfeiffer is talking about the stress she felt during a 4-hour interrogation with an investigator hired by the city of Charlotte.
It's caused me medical problems that my doctor is really concerned about.
The investigation was prompted by disciplinary action filed against Smith-Pfeiffer that stems from a promotion ceremony last November, where Smith-Pfeiffer was officially pinned as a battalion chief. She wanted her mother to put on her new pin. After her boss turned down the request, she asked if Charlotte's first black female firefighter, Linda Lockhart, could pin her instead.
Next for Battalion Chief, we have Sylvia Smith-Pfeiffer.
But she said just 5 minutes before the ceremony, she was told that request was denied too. She was told the chief would pin her.
When my turn came, I asked him really nice. I whispered to him, I said, "Excuse me, could you please place it in my hand?" And he was like, "No, but I have to pin you." And he started coming towards me, and I just held his hand up, and I said, "Please, just place it in my hand."
1 week later, she said her division chief handed her a write-up for conduct unbecoming during the ceremony.
I have a pending Class A offense on me where I will be suspended. That's the minimum. The maximum is termination.
The write-up doesn't contain any details or specific allegations, which Union President Tom Brewer says is not uncommon.
In the history of the fire department, the conduct unbecoming is kind of like a catch-all. When they can't find something else to write you up for, it's like, oh, we'll just write them up for conduct unbecoming.
The charges have become so controversial, the city hired an outside investigator to conduct interviews, which led to Smith-Pfeiffer's 4-hour interrogation. Brewer says 20 other people have been interviewed, asked to sign confidentiality forms, and questioned about a wide array of topics. WBTV obtained an audio recording of Brewer's conversation with the investigator.
But what if you were a larger-chested woman? Would that be offensive? Because now we're talking a boob, right? I understand that a very certain member of the command staff up on the stage was very upset. He thought it was very disrespectful. Something very minor happened. Let's call it
Incredibly minor.
So we agree, this was a very minor incident.
He says that, yeah, it's like someone got their feelings hurt, so they wrote you up over this, and here we are 5 months later. No report, we're still investigating it, and we're investigating a policy that doesn't exist.
These are the tactics and the antics of the Charlotte Fire Department. These are the things that they do to manipulate people, to intimidate people, to bully people.
Smith-Pfeiffer is one of half a dozen firefighters who have sued the city, claiming the fire department has either discriminated or retaliated against firefighters in similar situations. Brewer and Smith-Pfeiffer say they have taken these issues to city leadership, including city manager Marcus Jones.
There's no accountability at the top.
The city manager is also the fire chief's boss, and all of this stuff is going on, and he's doing nothing.
Does it feel to you like your boss can get away with this because the people at the top just don't care or aren't paying attention?
It's not that they don't care, they just choose not to get involved.
WBTV reached out to Fire Chief Reginald Johnson, City Manager Marcus Jones, and HR Director Sheila Simpson to ask about Smith-Pfeiffer's investigation and the larger workplace issues outlined in the lawsuits against the city. In an email, City Attorney Patrick Baker responded, writing, quote, "These claims relate directly to matters pending before the courts and/or administrative agencies. In the interest of fairness to all parties involved, I believe it to be inappropriate to engage in public commentary regarding those matters outside of the established administrative and judicial processes."
We love this city, and we think it could be so much more.
I feel like if I wasn't here, standing right here in his presence, then they would just wipe me off the face of the fire department.
The city has denied the allegations made in the lawsuits in court, but that's not all that's happening in the legal system. In a lawsuit involving Smith-Pfeiffer and several other Charlotte firefighters, a United States magistrate issued sanctions against the city of Charlotte for failing to produce records despite 8 orders to do so, and wrote, quote, "It's clear numerous documents have either been lost or destroyed." It's one more reason why the firefighters we spoke to say they have little faith in city leadership. And just literally minutes ago, Smith-Pfeiffer's attorney told me that she was called in for a random drug test today. Guys, back to you.
Our days at